Hello guys, welcome back. So we are in basic setting, right? Okay, so in basic setting, what we have discussed? We have discussed this posting period variant and fiscal year variant. So these two things we have discussed in details. If we talk about fiscal year variant, guys, now in fiscal year variant, we had two more things, okay? So which I'll explain just theoretically. One is called year dependent fiscal year, okay? Year dependent fiscal year. So what is called year dependent and year independent? See, if you talk about fiscal year is financial year, right? We know very well, which is being followed by organizations. For you as an individual, if you talk about our financial year, we can say like financial year means, let's suppose if you maintain a diaries and all, you can say that this is our books of account where we maintain all our expenses, day-to-day activities, right? Income gain, whatever is there, people are going to maintain over there. So what about our fiscal year, guys? Financial year, it is Jan to December because every individuals are following Jan to December. That is our financial year. But organizations, companies are going to follow different financial years, right? So that is why we have discussed in details that if it is calendar year, that is pretty fine. There is no problem because Jan to December here. Where is the problem? The problem is if the financial year is going to be non-calendar year, right? So non-calendar year means we have already seen year shift. Okay. The another thing is now year shift could be either -1 or +1 based on the requirement. Okay, that we have already seen. Now here, let's suppose here, right? This is July to June. So July to June. Look at here. Now, so I told in the previous year that calendar year is 22. We are in 2022. Now, if we follow, if organization is saying, let's suppose Tata Motors says that we are following July to June fiscal year, financial year. Okay. Okay, and one more thing. It's not like depends upon the organizations that some organizations are going to decide. Some organizations may use July to June and some organizations April to March. No, basically, generally what happens, guys, in a country, it depends. Like in a country, which financial years are being followed, right? So based on that, every companies are going to follow this. Now, so here July to June. In July to June, the year shift could be -1 also or +1 also, right? It depends upon the client. Here when we are going to define this fiscal year, so we are in calendar year 2022, July onwards. We are in 2022, which calendar year? 2022, right? So July onwards, now what is happening, guys? So 2022, we are in calendar year 2022. When you have to define, let's suppose when we have to define a fiscal year variant, so either it is going to be -1 or +1. All depends upon what, guys? All depends upon client requirement. July onwards, right? Which year is going to be started? If the client said that July onwards, 23 is going to be started. 2023 is going to be started. In that case, what will happen, guys? What will be the year shift? Someone tell me. Anybody?
+1. July to December plus 1, Jan to June,
Jan to June, July to December plus 1, and Jan to June what?
0.
Yes, that's what. So July to June plus 1, okay, and here, so it is pretty simple now. You guys are able to understand that based on what it is going to be. So here the logic is pretty simple. So July 23 onwards, July onwards, 23 is going to be started, right? And in which calendar year we are? We are in still 22 itself. So July onwards, 23. So July onwards, whatever the dates will be there, the actual dates are going to be entered as per calendar year. So in that, year will be 22, whereas when we open the period, right, second period, it will be like year 2023, right, because new year is already started. The current month is, let's suppose, August, so second period 2023. So here what will happen? How SAP will come to know the date we are going to give as a 22, but here year is started 23. So here year shift plus 1. It means shift the year digit by this. So 22 plus 1, 23. This is how SAP will come to know that yes, we are in 23. Okay. And now tell me guys, let's suppose if the client says July onwards, actually 22 is going to be started. In that case, what will happen? In that case, what will happen?
July to December
July to
0
December 0,
and January to
Jan
June plus minus 1.
minus 1.
Yes, yes, now it is fine, at least. So here it is going to be minus 1. Why? Because July onwards 22. So calendar year is 22 itself. So July onwards, if somebody is going to post, right? So here what is happening? As I said, 22 means here the year will be 22, right? Year will be 22. So, and here also year will be 22. So till here there is no problem, right? December 2022, calendar year December 2022, if the transactions are going to be posted, so here the period will be 6 and 6 2022. Okay. So why? Because the dates are going to be entered as per calendar year. So December means, let's suppose, 10, 12, 2022. Period will be 12 means December. That is sixth period. So here period will be sixth, right? And then what is happening, guys? It is going to be 2022 here. Okay. So 2022 and year shift is 0. So 22 plus 0, 22. Where is the problem? In year, next calendar year, because half of the months are coming in next calendar year, that become 23, right? So even though we are in actually in calendar year 2023, but actually that is for us it is 22 only. So Jan means 7th period and period, right? And year is 22 itself. But in calendar year Jan, we have entered in 23. So the date will be, let's suppose here 01, let's suppose, uh, and 01 itself 2023. So how SAP will come to know that actually it is not 23, it is 22 itself. So 23 is going to be shifted by minus 1. right? So this is what the logic, and I think these many examples are more than enough, guys, to identify that whether it will be -1 or +1. This is what the logic, okay? So that if anybody asks like, okay, you tell me this is the what to say scenario, and you tell me what should be the year shift here, right? In that case, you can calculate. Or else, if someone asks like, okay, what do you mean by year shift? Quote an example of -1, quote an example of +1, right? So in that case, easily you can say. Now, the next one is, so generally what we have seen, guys, we have seen -1, sorry, we have seen calendar year and non-calendar year. These are the two financial year we have seen. But there is another thing also, okay? Generally during interview, I haven't seen that people are asking these questions, but yes, in certifications once or twice this question has come, okay? So that is called year dependent fiscal year. What is this year dependent fiscal year? That we have to explain. Year dependent fiscal year. What is this year dependent fiscal year? So again, guys, see, we are having the financial year is going to be defined based on the periods which is going to be used, okay, or based on the number of days which is there in the period. In the sense, now I'll tell you. If we talk about calendar year, how many periods are there in calendar year, guys? Total 12 period, right? If we talk about non-calendar, in every non-calendar also, whether it is April to March, we are having 12 period. October to September, 12 period. July to June, 12 period. Everywhere, no matter whichever calendar year or non-calendar year, whichever are going to be used, but one financial year, right, is going to consist of how many period, how many month, 12 month. Okay, so here there is no conflict at all. Okay, so this is what the similarity. Now, if you talk about the number of days in a particular period, that is also fixed. Okay, January always 31 days, right? So even in non-calendar year also January is going to fall, right? The only thing is they are saying that we are going to, our fiscal year is going to be started from April onwards. April is the first period, right? They are saying this is the first month of year. But whatever the number of days are there in April, it will be same, isn't it? If it is like, let's suppose April means how many days, guys? So here 31, 20, 28 or 29, here 31 and 30 days, right? So if it is 30 days, throughout the world, everywhere April equals to 30 days only, right? January equals to 31 days itself, right? July 31, August 31, December 31, right? November 30, October 31, September 30. So number of days will be always same in every period. So what is similarity, guys, in calendar or non-calendar? So number of days will be same. Number of period in a particular financial year is also same. Now here, so this is called year independent. This is called year independent. I mean to say it's pretty simple. Year independent. See, I mean to say here, saying like year, two things are there. One is year dependent, right? And another one is year independent. Year independent. Okay. So year dependent and year independent. All this calendar plus non-calendar, right? Plus non-calendar. I'm typing in shortcut. All calendar, or I'll give you a non-calendar. All calendar year and non-calendar year comes under where? It comes under year independent. Okay, it will be like because let's suppose during interview people will not ask these things and all, but in certifications exam, if somebody is going to write the certification global certification exam and all, there I have seen very simple, guys. Okay, so and this is rare requirement. It's not like once you become a consultant, such kind of requirements comes very rarely. But I'm just quoting a small example here so that at least some idea you guys will be having. So year independent is what, guys? Our calendar year or non-calendar year. Whatever this non-calendar year is there. Okay, this is non-calendar year, right? Okay. So this entire is non-calendar year. It means this one is non-calendar year, right? April to March, October, July to June, October to September, right? These all are non-calendar year. Okay. So calendar or non-calendar year, this is year dependent. Why it is year dependent, guys? Because year dependent means number of period in a financial year is always fixed, that is 12. Number of days in a particular period is always fixed, right? Okay. Now here, okay, it means like start. If you talk about the month, start and end, same. Now, what is this year dependent? Let's suppose somewhere certain client says, okay, I haven't received any such requirement as of now, but yes, if it is given by SAP, of course, less only, but this requirement also will be there, right? Okay. So I'm talking about year dependent. So let's suppose if a company says that for us, we are like our financial year is like, let's suppose, in the sense of 1 year itself, but there every Friday of the last month is going to be our, like, let's suppose every Friday of last month is going to be month end, right? So here what is happening, guys? Month end in the sense like every Friday of last month, in the sense like let's suppose we are in what to say, August, right? So August means 31 days and it is going to be ended on 31st of August, right? But the client says no. For us, whatever the last Friday is there in August, last Friday in August, like let's suppose there'll be a date, right? Let's suppose like last Friday of the August will be, let's suppose which date? 26. On this date, what is happening, guys, is the last Friday. So they are saying that month is going to be ended on that day itself. Now what will happen, guys? How SAP will come to know this, right? On 26th of August itself, the month is going to be ended. They are saying every month last Friday is going to be month end. So now what is happening? On 26th, the month is going to be ended. August month is going to be ended, right? So here, the beginning of the period, right? It means 27th onwards, what is happening as per them, the next period is going to be started. So starting of the month and ending of the month, it is different, right? Try to understand, like not that much important, guys, but still, uh, you know, here what is happening? Year dependent. Year independent means calendar year or non-calendar year. In everywhere, 12 periods are there. Everywhere, what is happening? In every month, fixed days are there. And starting of the month will be always same, right? January, whether it is falling in calendar year or non-calendar year, everywhere what is happening, it is first till 31st. But under year dependent, people says that no, January is going to be ended at the, like whenever the in January month, like last Friday is there. On that last Friday, what is happening? January is going to be ended. So January is going to be, let's suppose 28th is the last Friday. So 29th January onwards, the next period is going to be started, right? And next period is going to be started. And maybe February, like whatever the in February month, the last Friday on a particular date. Maybe it is going to be last Friday will be on 29th or 28th. So what will happen? Or else maybe 25th, whatever it is. So here the number of days in a period is going to be different compared to the calendar year or non-calendar year. Year dependent means the number of days in a period is going to be different compared to calendar or non-calendar year. Calendar year means the starting and ending will be same. Non-calendar year means starting January, let's suppose January period or February period, or let's suppose the current itself, August. August is going to be ended on which date? 26th, right? July was ended on, let's suppose 27th on, let's suppose 27th or 28th. 27th of July was the last day of July because the Friday came. So 28th July onwards, what is happening, guys? New period is going to be started. So 28th July till 26th July, what is happening? It will be July month. So here maybe July is going to be ended in 30 days only. Whereas universally, everywhere July will be of 31 days, right? But that's what I'm saying. This is a rare requirement only, right? Less than 1% maybe. So in that case, what is happening? We have to define fiscal year variant as a year dependent. And when you define year dependent, practically no need to go, guys, and practically it is not possible to show. Nowhere you guys will be getting anywhere, like, because whatever I'm explaining, even that much also people are not going to explain. Everywhere, like people simply they will uh, leave it up, right? Year shift itself is not being explained by people. Now here, so what I said, that year dependent means, so starting of the month, look at here, August means 1st August onwards. But here starting of the month is, August is, let's suppose 28th July, right? So now what is happening? Year dependent will be like where the starting and ending of the month is not fixed, right? This time 28th July is the end of July period. Next year, what will happen? Maybe on 27th itself the last Friday approached. So again next year what is happening? The starting of the period will be, July period will be different. So year dependent is going to be, if somebody is going to use year dependent, then in every financial year, they have to define this fiscal year. Why? Because the starting of the month is going to be changed. Some of you may be a bit confusing. Anyway, as I said, like don't put much stress, but yes, what is the difference between year dependent and year independent? Year dependent and year independent. So year dependent means all calendar and non-calendar years is called year independent. And why? Because number of periods in a month are fixed, right? And starting of the period and ending of the periods are same everywhere. But here in year dependent, starting of the period and ending of the period is not same, right? As I said, like August month is going to be started from 28th of July onwards. So this year 28th July onwards, August month is started and ended in 26th of August. But next year, the same Friday may fall on 38th of August. Last Friday will be on 38th of August, right? And here, so last Friday of the August will be 38th of August. And in July month, maybe it is on 29th. So what is happening, guys? Beginning and end. Now it is different. So that is why every year what is happening, this year dependent financial year is going to be defined because beginning of the month is going to be changed. Second thing is there is one more thing. Now, when I say, like, now let's suppose you forget about non-calendar year now for the time being. Let's suppose we are using calendar year itself. Let's suppose we are using calendar year. So as per calendar year, the current period is 8th period of 2022. Here there is no problem. So when I have given 8th period, then what kind of control is there, guys? What is the control of period? It means if somebody is going to post a transactions which belongs to this date, right? System will not accept. System will not allow user to proceed further. Why? Because it is 25th of July means since we are using calendar year, so 25th of July means 7th period. But here only 8th period is open. 8 to 8 means 8th period. 7 to 8 means July to June. Both periods are open, right? Okay. So if somebody has posted, if any transactions belongs to 25th of like or 26th or 27th of July, July month transactions are not permitted here. June month transactions are not permitted here, right? It's okay. But again, there'll be another question that it's okay, it is not permitted. Somebody has received one invoice on 2nd of August and today is like let's suppose 12th of August, right? And today he realized that oh my god, I made a mistake. There was an invoice, but I couldn't post it. I forgot to post. It's already 10 days old. So what will happen in that case? In that case also, so there is a delay. There is a delay. Now the invoice which was received on 2nd of August. Now what is happening, guys? It is going to be posted on 12th of August. But at the time of posting this invoice, so actually it is 12th of August. At the time of posting of invoice, user is going to enter, but user is going to enter this date only, backdated entry. This date only is going to be entered by user at the time of transaction posting because that invoice belongs to that particular date. So if user is going to give this date, then let's suppose if invoice is going to become due after 30 days. So system will calculate 30 days from here onwards. And on time itself invoice is going to be due and vendor is going to receive the payment on time. So invoice actual date is 12th, right? But it was posted, so post in the date of 2nd, right? But still there is no problem. Why? Because period is already open. 8th period here also 8th and here also 8th, right? So 8th period is already open. And since it was posted on this date, backdated entry, right? So vendor is going to receive the payment on time itself because invoice is going to be due on time. So vendor is going to receive the payment on time. So there is no escalation from vendor. And if there is no escalations, people will not come to know that even these things are also happening. But this is also a mistake itself, not that much serious, but still, if organization says that no, I don't want to accept even such kind of mistakes also, right? In that case, what will happen then, right? So in that case, now what is happening, guys? So in that case, this is possible only if period open and close up, like options are going to be changed, and weekly period open close options are going to be, right? If let's suppose there are something where like we have to open and close the period weekly basis, right? So now here what is happening, guys? So total, I think how many weeks will be there in a year? Maybe 52 weeks, right? So now how many periods are going to be defined in that case? 52. 52 periods are going to define in that case. If that is the case, it's a rare requirement. Don't try to define that right now, guys, because it is going to create lots of confusion, isn't it? Generally, that is why the people don't explain these things initially, right? Because here in year shift itself, I can see like lots of people will be still confused. But this is going to clear very, soon in upcoming session and all. Don't worry, right? So again, so week wise also you can define. So total we are having in January you will be having 4 period, right? Let's suppose February you will be having 4 periods, like that, isn't it? So this is also now here what is happening. So periods are going to be week basis, weekly basis. The periods are going to be. This is again not a normal period, right? Not a normal period. So now we have to define that from a particular like period number one. So which date to which date? Period number two. Which date to which date? Different periods will be there, right? So again, it is going to create some confusion. But in this case also, what is happening, guys? First one I have given this example, right? That August is going to be entered on 26th itself. Why? Because I said last Friday will be the month end. So on 26th August got ended. And actually, August supposed to be ended on 31st of August. But here what is happening? So the starting of the month and ending of the month is different, right? So that is in terms of year dependent, where the starting of the period and ending of the periods are different, year dependent, right? Here starting of the periods and ending of the periods are same. This is year independent, right? Number of periods are 12, fixed, whether it is calendar or non-calendar. That is called year independent. But here the number of periods are 52. Look at here. Then what will happen, right? So number of periods are more than the calendar year or non-calendar year, right? So that's what this is what the difference between year dependent and year independent. So year dependent and year independent, what is the another difference, guys? The next difference is year independent is only one time setting, right? In the sense, if we have created only like let's suppose once we have defined this April to March, it's okay. That's done. Now no need to define again and again, right? If the organizations are going to use April to March, even if they use this SAP 100 year, it will be April to March itself. So that is not going to be changed. It will be as it is. Where is the problem? The problem is year dependent. Year dependent means every time period start date and period end dates are going to be different. Every time, in the sense, this year the August period was started from, like, let's suppose 28th of July, 28th of July, right? 28th of July onwards, August period started and ended on 26th. Maybe next year it is going to be started on 27th of July. So year dependent, we have to define every year it is going to be defined. Every year you have to make the changes, right? So year dependents are going to be changed, in the sense we have to change this every year. The start period, end period, is going to be changed every year. So this is what the difference. So year dependent is going to be maintained every year. Year independent, no need to maintain. Once you have defined, that's it, right? The next one is shortened fiscal year. This concept is also a bit confusing, guys. This is also going to be used very rarely when any merger and acquisitions happen. When the mergers and acquisitions are happened, in that case, shortened fiscal years are going to be defined. This is also, like, because I haven't, been the part of any such kind of project where the merger has taken place. So if you talk about defining this shortened fiscal year, right? I haven't defined, but yes, shortened fiscal year means the name itself is saying, saying that less than 12. Shortened means shortened fiscal year. It means a particular fiscal year which is having only 6 period or 7 period or 8 period, less than 12 period, isn't it? So let's suppose a company is going to be owned by a different company. Current organization is using, let's suppose, calendar year. Now it is going to be acquired by a different company. So this current organization has to use the fiscal year of the another company which is going to acquire. So that company is following non-calendar year. So in that case, what is happening, guys? They have to close the books of account. In that, like, some, of course, certain criticalities will be there, but right now it is not possible to explain that to at that level, isn't it? For understanding those things and all, you must be having some experience, some exposure. At this point of time, lots of criticalities will be there in that. So that's what I'm just explaining in 2 lines. Shortened fiscal year means a fiscal year which is having less than 12 period. It could be 3 period only, it could be 4 period only, it could be 6 period only. Okay, this is the one thing. And second thing is, shortened fiscal year is going to be used generally at the time of merger and acquisitions. This is the second case. And when I said shortened fiscal year, so this is also not having normal posting period, guys. It is having abnormal posting period, less than 12. 5, 6, 7, 8. It means less than 12. So even shortened fiscal year is also comes under year dependent itself, right? Year dependent means normal period 12. Other than normal, it is year dependent. If the total period is 13, if the total period is 52, if the total period is 7 only, these all are year dependent. Okay. So as I said, like, not that much important. I'm just explaining these things for your future references. Okay. Now, at present, no need to have a look on these things and all. First of all, you have to follow any non-calendar year. You can follow, guys. If you have to learn about this year shift and all, don't follow calendar year. Even though in, let's suppose, a particular country, it is going to be used, multiple countries calendar years are going to be used, but for learning purposes and all, use non-calendar year. That is the better one, so that you can define this year shift. Now I'll just come back on the next one. That is called field status variant. Field status variant. Look at here. Field status variant controls the fields which appears at the time of transaction posting. Okay. So what happened, guys, when we are going to post a transactions, right? Transaction posting means day-to-day activity. Whatever, like, let's suppose any expenses has taken place, we are going to maintain in a diary. So for that, companies used to use earlier books of account. If you're going to enter the same thing, you started writing in Excel sheet. This is your digital registers. Companies are, since they're having huge number of transactions and various different kind of reports are required, so they cannot use Excel sheet and all. So for that, a particular softwares, multiple softwares are developed where by using that companies are going to record their transactions. So SAP is also a software. So by using SAP, what is happening? They are going to record their transactions. So recording the transaction is nothing but it is called transaction posting. So when you post a transactions, multiple fields will appear, right? Look at here. Now let's suppose we are having a field called text field, and this is practically also you guys will come to, don't worry, practically right now transaction posting is not possible. That is why I'm just showing theoretically here. So I have taken the screenshot of a particular, let's suppose transactions. Okay. While posting a transaction, let's suppose we are having this assignment and text field. These two fields, text and assignment. Text means what, guys? Text means if you are posting a transaction, let's suppose we are posting a transactions. Now I have to remove this. It is done. Now a transaction is going to be posted. Okay. Rent related to, let's suppose, rent. So rent means a particular amount, guys. Let's suppose different amounts are going to be posted by using this GL account. By using this GL account, different amounts are getting posted. So every time what is happening, these transactions are getting posted in which GL, guys, it is going to be posted in rent GL. But these transactions belongs to a different, like this rent belongs to a different office. This rent belongs to, since Tata Motor is having multiple offices and they have taken on lease, in the sense they have taken on rent, isn't it? So let's suppose a particular builder is there, so multiple, like in a different cities. So different builders have rented out their properties to Tata Motor. So Tata Motor is going to pay rent in somewhere, like they have like Tata Motor has like it's like they're having open plots to park the vehicles and all. For that they are paying rent. Somewhere they are going to pay rent for the building, offices. So multiple rent related transactions are getting posted. This transactions, this is for an office which belongs to different city A. This is for city B, C, D, right? Different offices. It means different locality. So this rent belongs to a different office. This rent belongs to a different office. These all rent belongs to different office. How you will come to know these things? Transactions are getting posted, but how you will come to know that this amount belongs to which office? So that can be specified where, while posting the transactions, we are having a text field. So here people at the time of transaction posting will see this practically also, don't worry. Okay. So at the time of transaction posting, what is happening, guys? In text field, you can specify the narrations. Narrations means there manually we can type that this rent belongs to this office. This rent belongs to this office. This is different office or locality or details, right? So these things can be specified. Okay. Now what happened? So at the time of transaction posting, this field is right now it is called optional field. Optional field means if somebody is going to post a transaction, at the time of transaction posting, it depends upon user. If they have given a particular narration, it's okay. And even if they have not given also, system is not going to oppose when they save the entry, transaction is going to be posted. So this is what the meaning of optional. This field is optional. This field is optional. These all fields are optional. Optional means if you give any details, it's okay. It will be accepted by system. Even if you don't give also, it will be accepted. So this is called optional field. But your client says that no, at the time of transaction posting, what is happening? This text field, it must be filled up by people. They must have to specify that it belongs to which offices. It means they must have to maintain the narrations here. So here, if client is saying that this text field must be maintained in every cases. So what we have to do, look at here in this screen. So we have certain options. Okay, here like text field. In front of text field, we are having three options: suppressed, required, and optional. So client is saying that this text field, like they must have to enter the details. Apart from this, client is also saying that there is a field here value date. Okay, let's suppose client says that what is the use of this value date? Our client says that our users, like let's suppose this value date, if it is not being used right now for transaction posting, then why this field is appearing here? Why this field appears here if there is no use? Because I'll tell you, while transaction posting, let's suppose 100 fields appear. Out of this 100 field, only 20% of the fields are going to be used by people of transaction posting. So here client says like there are multiple fields which is unused, which is not going to be used. So client says that why this field appear? Just make it disappear. Remove this field from here. There is the requirement. Second requirement is text field must be like it must be filled up by people. Text field must be specified by people in the sense like here they must have to write some narrations. So in that case, this value date or against the value date, now here in this value date field is not showing. It's okay. There is because small screenshot only I have taken. So in value date field, what is happening in front of value date? You can apply this one, suppress. So if we select suppress radio button, then value date will disappear. And for text field, we are going to select this one, required entry. Right now, optional, optional, optional. So in front of text field, we are going to make it required entry. I'll show this practically. Isn't it? Whatever I'm explaining guys right now, starting from like posting period variant, fiscal year variant, these all things I'll show you practically. Practically means we have already configured, but still the clarity will be 100%. once I post a transaction, then I'll show the use of these things. Then you'll be having a perfect understanding. Don't worry. So there won't be any scope of even a single percent doubt also. Okay. So what I said here, there will be a settings where in front of text field, we are going to select this required entry. So if you select this required entry somewhere, we are going to select the required entry somewhere and the impact will be somewhere. This is what we have to do, right? Field status variant. What is the use of this field status variant, guys? Field status variant control the fields which appears during transaction posting. Multiple people, they know very well how to configure this field status variant. I receive multiple calls from the people, guys, right? Because my numbers are there on my YouTube channel. I receive multiple calls, right? And people say I have already taken training from so and so institutions. But if you talk about the basic setting, guys, they are missing the logic behind that. Even yesterday, I got a call from a guy. He said, like, so already my training is completed, but still I've given one interview recently, and I was not able to understand the question. I saw your videos on, YouTube, and when I saw, like, I felt like I learned nothing. So this is what is happening. Defining this field status variant, how much time it's going to take? 2 minutes hardly. If I have to explain the logic, it is going to take 20 minutes. That is the problem. This is why, let's suppose if I have to complete the classes in 40 days, 45 days, or 30 days, then it is impossible to explain the logic. If I'm going to explain the logic, it takes 6 months. This is what the difference is. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So here, field status variant, what is the use of that? It controls the fields which appears during transaction posting. This is the screen of transaction posting. At the time of transaction posting, here the screens are appearing. And this is the screen belongs to this field status variant setting. So look at here, guys. Now this changes are going to be done somewhere and the impact will be somewhere. So this is what you have to know. What will happen if you apply a like if you select this radio button, what will happen and where is the impact? That we need to know. So field status variant wills, it is, look at here, the field controls are there. If you apply, if you select this radio button, where is the impact? At the time of transaction posting, whatever the fields are appearing, in those fields, this text field is going to become a required entry. It means while posting the transactions, user must have to specify certain details here. Certain detail doesn't mean that they are going to write ABC. Of course, like if user has forgotten to specify the details and if they're trying to post the transaction, SAP will not allow them to save that entry unless they specify certain narration here. In this is certain text. Narration is nothing but text only, right? So this is what. So optional means whether they specify or not, that doesn't matter. Required means they must have to specify, and suppress means it is going to disappear. These are the three options. There are multiple things even in field status, field control also. That also we'll see. Okay, some differences are there. A certain things, some other things also will be there, guys. We'll see that one by one. So field status variant. Okay. Now here what is happening? So we have to define a field status variant, and again that is going to be assigned to the company code. So I'll just quickly define this. Let me log in here and OB C4. Again, in field status variant, we have certain things. Some more things. There is a logic behind that also, guys. So now what is happening? We are having like multiple field status variant. Okay. Generally, it is advisable by SAP that instead of defining a new field status variant, better to copy the existing one. Okay. Certain reference field status variant is given by SAP, and there is a logic behind that. That also you guys will come to know. That's what I'm saying. That slowly, you guys, the logics are also going to be developed. Here, like I'll be explaining everything and all, but certain things you guys will be, the clarity will be there more later. Why? Because the number of sessions are going to be increased, your practice level is also going to be increased. Right now, you select this 0001. This is the standard given by SAP. Somebody has changed this descriptions. It's okay. You just give. Yeah. Let's suppose this is the description. Happy. Okay, just save it. Control S. Press enter. Now select this 0001 and click on copy. Okay. When you click on copy, give your code. So mine is I'm going to give TM22 only. And descriptions I can give here. Let's suppose this is my field status variant. And press enter. When you press enter, saying that copy all and copy only entry. So if you click on copy all, then what happened? Within a field status variant, we are having multiple field status group. Those field status groups are also going to be copied. And if you click copy only entry, then those field status groups are not going to be copied. So always you have to select copy all, because if the field status groups are not going to be copied, then no use of copying this field status variant. In that case, we can create also itself. So click on copy all. Because if you copy this field status variant, it means we are going to copy all the field status group which is there within the variant. Now again, it is going to create another confusion. It is going to create another confusion that I said like field status variant, and within field status variant, look at here, 41 got copied. Press enter or else click here. So now within this, we are having various field status groups. Okay. So now the question is, what is the logic behind this? What is the logic of this field status group? Within the variant, we are having multiple field status group. So I'll tell you guys, within the variant, it is the field status group which is going to control the fields. Double click here. These all, somebody has made the experiment, guys. All fields are suppressed. I'll make it this as a, let's suppose, optional entry. Okay. These two as a optional entry. And then save it. So when you make this optional entry, where is the impact? The impact will be there at the time of transaction posting, the impact will be there. But again, G001, 3, 4, 5, 6, multiple field status groups are there. So what is the use of this multiple field status group? Why to have multiple field status group? Right? So for this one also, I'll quote one example. I'll quote one example and then I'll proceed further. Not one example, 2, 3 example I have to quote. Then you guys will be having understanding about the field status group. So that I'll explain in next session, guys. In next session, I'll quote an example and I'll tell you what is the use. And as I said, it is going to be repeated again practically. Practically in the sense when we post the transaction, then entire basic setting, what is the exact use of this basic settings and all, right? So that is going to be explained practically. Okay, so that's what I'm saying, that a very perfect and clarity will be there on each and everything. Why? Because once again I'm going to correlate these things, isn't it? This is how you guys are going to become a consultant. So okay, but it takes time. When it is going to be explained in details, it takes time. Okay, so how much time it has taken? In 30 seconds you can copy this field status variant. Okay, we have copied this field status variant in 30 seconds and go to OBC5. Why? Because we have created this field status variant for Tata Motor. How SAP will come to you? So assign this field status variant to your company code. So your company code is also TM22 itself. Assign and save it. Okay. So this is what the use. Now here, field status variant is assigned here. Why assignment is required? Of course, there is a logic. Behind each and everything, there is a logic. Okay. So now let's suppose multiple field status variants are defined, right? You're having a field status variant. Let's suppose a field status variant 1, field status variant 2. Now we have made changes against this field status variant where you made text field as a required entry. How you will come to know that it is going to have impact on Tata Motor? So it is going to have like text field as a required entry. So this will have an impact only if this is assigned to your company code. If this field status variant, we have made text field as a required entry against this field status variant, whereas assignment is we have assigned this field status variant, right? So there is no impact because changes we have made against FSV1 and assignment we have done here FSV2. No impact. So first of all, a field status variant must be created. Second thing is it must be assigned to your company code. And then what will happen? Then if you make any changes against that field status variant, then that is going to be applicable for this company code. Okay. Within the field status variant, we are having field status groups. What is the use of that? And why multiple field status groups are given by SAP? So within the field status variant, it's field status group itself which is going to control the fields. Why? Because the number of fields you have seen, like optional, required, display, here I have not shown. I'll just do one thing. Go to OBC4. Okay, I've shown that, right? I've shown here that. So within the field status variant, we are having multiple field status group. Double click on G001. Look at here. So here, suppressed, required, optional against G001. And these are the fields. Again, in G003 also, you'll be having the same. Here also, you'll be having the same. So why multiple field status groups are there? So within the field status variant, it's field status group which is going to control the fields. But the question is why these many field status groups are required? So there is a logic behind this. But again, it is going to take time. So I'll explain this logic in next session, guys. So I'll stop the session here itself.